Hey guys, Ernie here, and welcome to the Paleo Hiker MD channel. Today we're going to be doing a little cooking. Now, part of our channel name is Paleo, and we do follow a paleo lifestyle pretty consistently here at the house. And one of the things I love to do is cook. So today we're going to make a favorite dish of ours. This dish is called Vaca Frita, which in Spanish means fried cow. It's a traditional Cuban, Puerto Rican dish, and I'm excited to show it to you guys. So let's get started. All right, so basically Vaca Frita is a dish where you take flank steak or some kind of a steak that has a long muscle fibers so you can shred the meat. We're gonna get our flank steak, we're gonna season a little bit of water, and we're gonna cook the flank steak, just boil it in water until it's super tender and you can easily shred it. After that, we'll put some onions with it and fry it down and really get a crispy texture, which was what makes a really good Vaca Frita. So the first thing we need to do is get our steak, so I'm gonna get it from the fridge. All right, so here's our steak. And you can see this is about a 1.5 pound piece of flank steak. I'm cooking for myself tonight, so not necessarily anything really large, but these muscle fibers go long ways along this flank steak. So what I want to do is cut this into pieces so that it's easy to boil it. If I boil it in large pieces, then it's harder to shred the meat later. So what I'm going to do in this case, it'll shrink down quite a bit when we actually boil it. So I'm just going to cut this into 4 pieces. Just like that. And you can see later on what will happen. This is all the muscle fibers coming across this way, so we'll be able to pull it across, pull it apart like this, and get nice shreds. So let me get some water. All right, guys. Get your water over the heat. We're going to add a couple things. First, a couple of bay leaves. Next, about 10 whole peppercorns. Next, we're going to add about a teaspoon of salt right into the water. And then I'm going to go ahead and add our meat straight in. All right, guys, so let's let this come to a boil. All right, guys, you want to be careful here as you start to get a boil, because obviously a lot of the foam comes up from the fat in the meat. I'm going to skim off some of that foam now. All right, so pretty simple. You want to leave your bay leaves in there and just skim out this foam. You don't have to get it all. You just want to get some of it so that it doesn't boil over at all. And you want it to boil uncovered for, I would say, at the minimum 1 hour. I'll probably let this boil for about 1.5 hours. The longer you let it boil, the more you break down those fibers and the easier it is to shred. So we'll check back in about 1.5 hours. All right, guys, it's been about an hour 15 minutes. You can see how the meat looks. It's very, very tender, and it'll be very easy to shred now. So what I'm gonna do is get this, drain this meat, and we're gonna start working on the rest of our recipe. All right, so next you're gonna need a large onion. This is a large Vidalia onion, and we're just going to cut the edges off here. Now, one of the important parts of this recipe is the very crispy onions. So you want to cut these pretty thin. I'd say somewhere around 1/8 of an inch. All right, guys, get your gas over about medium to medium-high heat. I like using an enameled cast iron skillet here, or pan. I'm gonna put a generous amount of olive oil in here. And you're really gonna be frying this. You definitely want a good amount of oil. All right, so we're starting to get a little bit of glistening of our oil. I'm gonna start by adding the onion. Next, I'm gonna add our shredded meat. This is probably going to be several times that we layer on our seasonings, because it's going to take a little bit for it to get all in there. I'm going to start with a generous sprinkling of salt. Again, this is just garlic powder. Last is cumin. Now cumin can be very strong, but it's really kind of the key to the flavor of this dish. So you're going to add plenty to it. As you can see, I don't do a lot of measuring, but you get the general idea. Now that's in there, we'll just start stirring it around. Now what you're going to want to do, allow it time to settle at the bottom and start to fry up. So you don't want to keep it moving all the time. I'm moving it now just to incorporate the spices, but the pattern will be get it all kind of settled and then give it 3, 4, 5 minutes to really start to cook on the bottom, and then we'll move it. And there we go, starting to get a little bit of color. This is probably going to take a total of about 20 minutes to get it where I want it, maybe even 30. So why don't y'all sit back, enjoy a little music, and we'll fast forward this cooking process. All right, guys, y'all can see what I'm talking about. We're getting crispy, burnt, tasty edges on all of our meat and our onions. And this is just about done. So, let me plate this up for you guys, and I'm gonna eat. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching Paleo Hiker MD. Today we made a awesome Vaca Frita. Here's our finished product. You can see super crispy onions and meat, seasoned with garlic powder, cumin, and salt. And I put a little kale salad here on the side. I love eating paleo-friendly meals. This is certainly a paleo-friendly meal. All it has is some spices, olive oil, onions, and beef. As always, guys, I appreciate you guys watching the channel. I hope to, once I move into my new house, I'll be able to set up cooking a little bit better. I'm actually at my parents' house right now and able to shoot a quick cooking video here. Hopefully the new house will allow for a little bit better cooking scenario as far as filming goes, and I can bring you guys more of my favorite paleo dishes. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos here on Paleo Hiker MD.